there are scores of students that walk past his bronze bust at the University of North Texas campus. But few are actually familiar with the man behind that honor. Tonight, our Bree Aldridge introducing us to Abner Haynes, a man credited with making history and changing the game of college football in Texas.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
I didn't even realize what Jackie Robinson had done until it was over, years later. I didn't realize what Abner and I had done until years later.
In every victory of integration achievement during the Civil Rights Movement, there was a first. And in 1956, Abner Haynes and Leon King became the first black athletes to integrate football at a four-year college in Texas. But their success didn't come without struggle at the University of North Texas.
We were not allowed to live on campus, so the black community opened up their homes and welcomed us in, provided rooms, nice place to stay, didn't interfere with any of our business. They were just mother hens and daddies for all of us.
Both Leon and Abner had scholarship offers to the University of Colorado, where black student athletes were accepted, free to live and eat on campus. The choice seemed easy, but Abner, the son of Bishop F.L. Haynes, saw the bigger picture.
Dad was a giver, and he had a heart for his community. I mean, you know, the expression, faith, family, football, that it's not far off, but I would put community in there.
Abner was raised through the St. Andrew Church of God in Christ, a church that started in 1922, a time when segregation laws pushed blacks into the outskirts of town, and Abner's father and church members were still harassed because of the color of their skin.
His father went to Denton, and, his church was burned down twice. His eggs were thrown, and he picked up those eggs and went home and made some eggs. I think he learned, or he did by example.
Like his father, Abner felt the support within his community, despite those who did not believe in desegregation. Yet, no one could deny Abner Haynes' special athletic ability.
How would you describe him, just what he was able to do on the field?
Abner Haynes, to me, is by far the best running back that has come out of the city of Dallas. They compared him with Doak Walker at one time. No comparison.
UNT's freshman head coach at the time, Otis Mitchell, recognized talent and gave both Abner and Leon a fair chance. And Coach Mitchell expected all of his players to do the same.
One of the guys used the N-word one day, and they shipped him out. So the rest of the team saw that the coaches meant business.
Learned bigotry proved difficult to erase, but Leon remembers the first road game of the season was a turning point for the team.
Everybody knows about the Carson County incident where Ab and I were called names. During the game, we were hit, scratched, knee, anything that an athlete could do to us, they did it.
The cruelty, the hostility, the death threats were not limited to just Abner and Leon.
They beat up on all of us, and I think after the team members saw what we went through, and they got a taste of it, it kind of pulled the team together. We became one.
The Brotherhood continued to combat racism, and Abner and Leon moved up to varsity the following year. Meanwhile, the duo grew stronger, building their connection on the field, doing what they do best. 76 pitchback comes to mind.
I would go down and run a button hook, about a 7-yard button hook, and he would trail me. I might keep the ball myself, or I might pitch it back to him. It depends on how the back played me. But a lot of times I pitched to him, and hey, the rest was history.
Abner led UNT in rushing 3 straight seasons. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League and the Oakland Raiders in the American Football League in 1960. But Abner chose to sign with the Dallas Texans of the AFL, closer to home.
1960, Dad was the official AFL Player of the Year, but he was also Rookie of the Year. So that 1960 year was a big one.
The accolades continued as the franchise transitioned to the Kansas City Chiefs. In the prime of his career, Abner knew he needed to take action for what was happening off the field. In 1965, Abner was one of the 21 players boycotting the AFL All-Star Game in New Orleans because local restaurants, bars, hotels refused to serve black players. Days after a successful boycott, Abner was traded to the Denver Broncos.
I think some of the, the heart for it was like, okay, well, that's it. That's football. I mean, that's what happens. But helping people and maybe doing the right thing and standing up when you should, that wasn't going to change.
Despite the trade, number 28 was a staple for the Chiefs in the Lamar Hunt era, leading the franchise in rushing from 1960 to 64 and became the first to surpass 1,000 yards rushing. The Chiefs would induct him into their Hall of Honor in 1991 and retired his number. Abner's college alumni would do the same.
Well, you'll see his name and his face and his number in the stadium at North Texas. And with Carter there, he loves to see it.
Abner's grandson, Carter, is a sophomore at UNT who says he feels lucky to attend the campus where a monument of his grandfather is prominently displayed.
It's kind of crazy, too. It's a little surreal because I work here and, every morning, I pass the plaza, and it just kind of reminds me sometimes. It just reminds me of him. And, reminds me to be strong and keep going and do what I want to do.
The university unveiled Unity Plaza in 2022, honoring two trailblazers who set a new standard for black athletes, not only in Texas, but for the entire southern region.
Haynes is a 1962 UNT graduate and helped break the color barrier in Texas by becoming one of the state's first African-American collegiate football players.
Looking at the significance of their role in the landscape of college football, that's a story worth telling. And one of the things that I'm happy about is our ability to get that project to the finish line while both men could be there to see the importance and allow us to love on them and to also commemorate, a good legacy piece for them for years to come.
The bond that formed between two teenagers at Lincoln High School would unite the Haynes and King family in a way that would reshape the landscape of sports and the history of football.
Old times, huh?
Reporting in Denton, Brianna Aldridge, CBS Sports Texas.